Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome, Amiibo. Wrong button. Too much Pokemon. I don't have room for letters. Well, I have this Gulliver letter. Gulliver can go. One letter? One letter! From Fuchsia. There was a life or death matter I needed to write you about, but I forgot what it was. If you figure it out, you gotta let me know. This is a matter of life or death! I mean... well, she said life and death, so presumably, like... I don't know, maybe a fish died? But, like, she found some fish eggs? I don't know, man. Pudge. Oh, it's a cool guy. Hey there, Pig. So anyway, what's up? Wanna chat? Notice your shovel. You're not about to bury a pitfall seed, are you? I hope not. I always fall into those stupid things. Nah, I'm not. There are no pitfalls in this town. Oof. I'm impressed to see you surviving, princess. Want to talk to me? Yeah, I want to chat. There's a fish called a zebra turkeyfish, right? Pretty common, I think. Maybe just not around here, because I haven't been able to catch one at all. Think you could fish one up for me? I'm on it. My chair is not moving to where I want it to. I just want it a little... there we go. Yeah. I hate it when chairs do that. When you're like, I just want to slide a little bit, and it's just like, no. It's like, chair, come on. Talk about... I want to chat. Keep this serious, Schmoopy. I'm obsessed with fruit lately. All kinds. Fruit. You know, the real me is... I get frenzied over... now you know the real me, I get frenzied over fruit. Can you give me some? Any kind? Okay. I would try for that rock as the money rock, but... so I guess we have something extra to do today of try to fish up a zebra turkey fish. Oh, money rock. Neat. I'm now trying... my brain is now... it's like... I don't even know how many days away EDF 6 is. It's not many. Cause it's like 8 days? It is really getting close. I'm so freaking excited. Multiple mosquitoes trying to eat me. Seems about right. Though I say that, I more or less seem to get left alone by mosquitoes a lot of the time. It's kind of great. But, trying to think of things to talk about today. I absolutely cannot wait for EDF 6, though. Like, and, like, I know there are people who are already complaining, like, oh, the game's so expensive, and it's like, but the EDF games have always been expensive. Let's be real. And, like, I know there are people complaining about the lack of regional pricing on Steam. Controversial take. I don't see why, especially in the case of a company like, you know, Sandlot, or a publisher like Sandlot, which isn't the biggest publisher in the world. Like, they've been around for a while, but they undoubtedly haven't been, like, comfortably in the green, you know. And, like, okay. Here's the basic way I look at it, and I know there's going to be people who will disagree with me on this. If a publisher can afford to do regional pricing, then that is just evidence that well, let's be real, the people in more well-off countries are being simply ripped off. And how do you determine a more well-off country? Because, you know, sure, it's like, if I remember right, the game was like $70 up here in Canada, but we are a first world country. So just because we don't have the, you know, $59.99 price that Americans get, you know, our price is roughly the equivalent of the value difference in our currency. We actually kind of have better pricing when you do the conversions, depending on how money is looking at that exact moment. Hello, Gabby. Cool guy. You have a red bar shirt, right? Totally dreamed about getting one. Can I buy it from you? How much? Sounds great. Still far less than... I'm pretty sure that's what I traded the gem for, but, you know, it's an inventory slot, so... Let's do it again sometime. Yeah, and now she's not wearing the stupid frickin', someone from Anytown design. But, like, let's use an example, and just tell me how you would personally feel about this if you knew this was happening. Let's say Earth Defense Force 6, because that's the game I'm talking about. If, you know, it for, say, Americans, Canadians, British, Europeans, you know, people with, countries with strong economies, it was still that AAA $60 price tag, which is the $59.99. And then you learned that, say, some other country nearby your own was getting it for the equivalent of, like, $20. Or maybe even $10. That's probably going to make you feel quite ripped off, is it not? You know, and if the publisher can afford to sell their game at that $10 to $20, because an argument I've seen used is that, well, you know, regional pricing makes games more affordable in other countries, thus people in those other countries buy it more. And, yeah, I can see that. But theoretically, your marketing department has already done the cost-benefit analysis to determine that the game had to be sold at $60 for you to make a profit in the first place. If they hadn't, it wouldn't have been a $60 game. So, that argument kind of goes out the window right there, just because, well, you've already determined you can sell that game for, you need to sell that game for $60, or else you're probably going to be losing money on it. But now you're showing that you can sell it for less than $60. So why is it not just less than $60 for everybody? Like, I honestly do really dislike the whole, you know, lower price for one, but not for all. Because if the argument is the game being cheaper means more people buy it, thus making up the difference, then that would apply everywhere. Like, I'm sure there's probably a few of you who watch this who might have heard me, you know, say how much I enjoy Earth Defense Force and how kind of cool it is. And then looked at EDF6 and went, I don't know, $60? But if it was like 20, you'd be much more likely to buy it. Thank you, Sahara. I love it when she calls me King Steven. It's nice. It sounds dumb, but like that feels nice. You know, I kind of like this. What did she give us before? Alright. Yawning. I just woke up not long ago. My sleep schedule's all over the place. I really need to try to get it fixed. We haven't talked with Sky yet. Hello, Schmoopy. Seem chipper as always. What's on your mind? Want to chat? Summer's the season for reading on the beach, Airmail. Instead of jumping in the ocean, I jump into whole other worlds. That is very fair. Can't say I would read on the beach, but that mostly just comes down to where I live. It can go from bright sunny day to pouring rain quicker than you would did, you know, than you would think. Which, you know, can cause problems. But, yeah, it's like, if a publisher can afford to do regional pricing, especially in a case where, like, I remember at one point, it was some dude talking about his game, and how, like, because of regional pricing, like, his game was selling, like, 80 to 90% of its sales were in, like, Brazil or something. And it's like, well, yeah, your game, because of what he had his regional pricing to, was like $1 equivalent in Brazil. And it's like, if you're managing to keep yourself going with the vast majority of your sales being at this massively reduced price, then you can just lower your price everywhere. Like, that's always kind of been my problem with the whole regional pricing argument, because, like, the fact that there are developers, and even indie developers, who are more strapped for cash than most, that can afford to sell their games at exceptionally lower prices in other countries, you know, and then have that be the bulk of their sales. Like, they could more than easily sell games for less and still make a profit. The reason big publishers don't do it is because they have investors and they need to keep their bottom line going up. So they don't really want to take risks, and I'm just curious. Yeah, 77. Yeah. Price ain't going back up this week. What is bonused today? Pearl oyster shells. I mean, like, it's just one of those things. It just kind of annoys me when people complain about the lack of regional pricing. Hey, so the Wondering Coffee level returns. You digging on Brewster's Brews as well? I am. I would like my coffee today, Brewster. I would like my usual. It's like... And, like, I do get it, and I do feel bad for people in these countries when there isn't a regional pricing going on, because they literally cannot afford those games otherwise. I mean, like, even just using, like, an easy example, because they're kind of easy to pick on. The Australians, their dollar is worth nowhere near as much as a US dollar. So, for the longest time, they've had, you know, $100, $150 game prices. And that's a pretty hefty investment when their wages really aren't equal, you know. But again, it is very much a case of, you know, if a games publisher is able to go to the Australian market and go, right, yeah, So you guys get the game for 50 Australian dollars. Or, 60 Australian dollars. Well, now they're basically going, right, so the game's worth $30. It's not quite that simple of math, but you get the idea. Like, they're saying, right, we can afford to sell this game cheaper. We're just choosing not to in other places. But you guys get special treatment. And don't get me wrong, I'm not getting like this because, like, oh, publishers don't do it in Canada. No, they do. There are some publishers that do regional pricing in Canada. It's really painfully obvious when they do. Bugger. Because, like, when they're doing regional pricing in Canada, like... Well, basically, when a developer does regional pricing, as long as they, don't continue to try to hold up the facade of that it's the normal price, which a lot of them don't, it's really easy to tell because instead of ending in 99, it ends in zeros. Like, which is also dumb. Oh, there's a zebra turkey fish. I may as well keep fishing until I have a whole inventory. And the reason why it's dumb, and this is probably going to sound stupid if you don't understand this part of marketing. The reason every price ends in 99 is because if you look at 100 and then you look at 199, your brain is gonna go, well, there's not a big price gap there, even though there is, and you know there is, and me saying the prices in comparison like that, you know there's a gap there. But if you were to just see the price tags, you'd be like, there's not a big gap there. They're both $100. But if you're looking at 100 and 200, suddenly, oh, that's a big price gap. It's literally psychology. They're lowering it by a penny to psychologically trick you into thinking the price is significantly lower. Because we as humans don't tend to give as much importance to the, extra digits. We look at the first digit, and that's really about it. The more digits you add, the less we pay attention. We like to see that number go up, but, that's only if it's a beneficial number to us. I don't want to come across like I absolutely hate regional pricing, because I don't. Like, I want more people playing games. Like, that is definitely something I want. The thing I hate is that regional pricing proves that games are just simply too expensive. Like, that's my argument here. I'm not saying that regional pricing shouldn't exist, though technically I am. I'm saying games should just simply be a reasonable price from the get-go. And obviously there is still going to be some countries that regional pricing would still be effectively required for, because those countries' economies are absolutely trash. And most of those countries also have active protests going on because of how bad their economies are. Like, late-stage capitalism is proving to be, not very great. That's not to say other alternatives are even remotely better. Quite honestly, something that would undoubtedly help most economies is if we went back to money actually being tied to something and not some ethereal value. Because, let's be real. Money is worth what it's worth because we agree it's worth what it's worth. It's not actually worth anything. Like, you can't say, wander down to your bank and go, right, I would like to trade in all of my money for a tangible good that is also valuable. You know, something that can be a stand-in for money, but is just too inconvenient to use as money. Like, that's where the gold standard used to be, of basically, you could wander down to your bank and be like, yeah, I'd like to trade in all of my money for the gold value of it. I was thinking, maybe it's time for me to try an image change, you know? So, maybe think of a thoughtful greeting for me to use. Possibly. You know, I feel like making him say caterpillar. You were doing it right, Lobo. It's like someone else is speaking through my mouth. Knew I could count on you. Now, I've got your fish. Right, I still need to get Bella her fruit as well. Oh, thanks. You're the best. Sign my thanks. Please take my 6-ball tea. I would have rather the fruit. Knew I could count on you. Stay awesome, princess. Well, let's go cherry, but let's go orange. Right, my pockets are full. What is a less valuable fish I have? I think the sea basses, maybe. Though maybe a clownfish is worth less. Throw it in the river. I don't actually know. Watch me have thrown away one of my more valuable fish. She has fleas. I don't have the inventory to deal with this. I have an orange. Maybe it'll get rid of your flea. Now, looks delish. Yep, that's tasty real good. I appreciate you got that for me, Schmoopy. So take this hand cart. Okay. Nope, no. Come on. Put it in there. There we go. Give me the fleet. Oh, was that a flea? Thanks, I guess. Totally relieved you caught that pest before anyone else saw it. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty good of me to do. But, like... the main thing is I always feel like a dick when I, like, complain about regional pricing. Because I know to some people it'll probably come across as, oh, you're just complaining because you're not benefiting from it. It's like... I mean, kinda yeah, but in a way that makes sense. Because, like... It's kind of, in a way, basic economics, in a way of, sure, it's nice if you could sell your product for the most money the market will bear. So basically, like, if you could sell one product for $60, that's great. The market will bear $60. But if you could sell 5 of that product for $20... and it costs you nothing to make each copy of the product. You can make infinite copies. Well, selling 5 for 20, that's $100. You've made 40 more. Like, again, if your product can feasibly exist and can sustain itself at a lower price, why is the price ever any higher? Other than, quite simply, these companies don't want to risk people not buying their product. Because there is no guarantee that you'll get the 5 people or even 3 people buying it for 20. But if you did, you know, like, an example, mostly because I was just mentioning it. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet almost outsold Red, Blue, Yellow. Or Red, Green, Blue, Yellow. The original games. Green being the alternate game for Japan. Basically the equivalent of Blue, we just called it Blue. I don't know, man. But imagine if Scarlet and Violet had been, say, $30. One, now the Western market and all the people complaining about all of the quote-unquote issues with the game that honestly I didn't even have any issues with until they started trying to fix the issues, which was probably the most hilarious thing I've ever encountered. Like, now those people are probably going to quiet up because, hey, the game's cheaper. And it probably would have more than easily outsold those original games. Which, fun fact, weren't $60 games. They were Game Boy games. They were like, I think, $30? Something like that. Like, I can almost guarantee you it would have outsold the original games by a wide margin and would have became the best-selling Pokemon game. And probably would have been also the most profitable Pokemon game. But they gave up that to maintain their pricing. Like, you know. But that's enough rambling out of me. Thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Leaf. Welcome, Amiibo. See you all then.